Hello everyone, I'm Sadashiro and welcome to Sada Learning Hub. Today's session we are going to learn the most important JSP interview questions. If you see here, these are the questions I am collected from the most of the company peoples, MNC company peoples. See, in this video I am going to cover 15 questions, interview questions. In each and every video have a 16 questions. In this video, the first question is: name some JSP action tags. If you see in the JSP, there is some standard actions are available. If anyone asking, tell me about some JSP actions. Just say that JSP colon include, JSP colon use bean, set property, get property, forward, plugin, elements, attributes, body, text, and all those things. These are some action tags are available in the JSP. Next, what are the JSP iterators? Sorry, what are the JSP literals? Literals are the values such as the number or a text strings that are written literally as a part of the program code. The JSP expression language defines boolean, integer, float point, string, and null. If you see, these are the JSP literals. A literal are the values such as the number or a text string that are written literally as a part of the program code. A JSP expression language defines a boolean literals and as integer literals and floating point string literals and null literal. The next question is, what is a page directive? A page directive is used to provide the instruction to the container that pertain to the current JSP page. You may code page directive anywhere in the JSP page. The page directive saying that used to provide the instructions to the container that pertain to current JSP page. Whenever you are declaring something into your JSP page, it is going to restricted by the page directive. It may be a tag lib directive or it may be an include directive. It is going to instruct to the container. We need to do this thing, we need to do that thing. We need to restrict these things. The page directive is going to say this instruction to the container for the current JSP page. The next question is, what are the various attributes of the page directive? If you see, a page directive contains the 13 attributes are available. 13 attributes. A page directive contains 13 attributes are available. The first one is language. It tells which language our JSP is going to support. Sorry, which language we are going to use into your JSP. The next one is extents. The next one is import. If you want to import anything into your JSP, if you want to import any Java classes into your JSP, just we can use the import directive attribute. The next one is session. The next one is thread safe. Means it is going to say how many threads are going to access. Is it going to one thread or it going to access the multiple threads? The next one is info page. Info means whatever the info page it tells regarding about a JSP page. The next attribute is error page. Error page means it is going to indicate, is it my page is act as an error page? Sorry, error page means this page act as an error page. It is going to say that it acts as an error page. isErrorPage, it accepts the true and false. Means, is this page is going to accept an error page? Error page and isErrorPage are the combination. We need to use at a time two. It's not possible to use single one. Content type means which content type you are using into your JSP. Is it UTF-8 or UTF-16 or any other? The next one is EL ignored? It is going to say that are you ignoring an expression language? The next one is buffer. It is related about memory and autoFlush. It is also same related to our flushing, memory flushing. Is scripting enabled? Is it support? It going to tell about is it going to support the scripting? These are the 13 attributes are available into your page directive. The next question is what is the buffer attribute? The buffer attribute specify the buffering characteristics of the server output response object. See here. A buffer attribute specifies buffering the characteristics of the server output response object. Whenever you are giving a request to the server, it sends some response. It is going to indicate about how much it is going to buffer that response object. That is okay, fine. What happens when the buffer is set to a value is none? We need to set, whenever we are using the page directive attribute as a buffer, we need to set the some values. If you set the none value, what it is going? What happens if you set the buffer as a none? When your buffer is set to a none, servlet output is immediately directed to the response output object. If you are not setting the buffer is equal to none, it is waits up to that particular value and sets the buffer into the particular response object. If you are setting the none, immediately it is going to send the response to output object. Next, what is a autoFlush attribute? The autoFlush attribute specifies whether the buffered output should be flushed automatically when the buffer is filled or when an exception should be raised into immediate indicates buffer overflow. A value of true indicates automatic buffer flushing and the value of the false throws an exception. See here, you are setting some buffer size, but whenever it is reached to the buffer size, we need to say that autoFlush is equal to true. Otherwise, it is going to give an exception. Buffer full. Whenever you are setting the autoFlush is equal to true, whenever it is reaching the buffer size, automatically it is flushing to output response output object. The next question is what is the content type attribute? The content type attribute sets the characters encoding for the JSP page and for a generated response page. The default content type of this text slash HTML, which is the standard content type of HTML pages. If you see, we need to set the content type. It is maybe a UTF-18 or UTF-16 something. We need to set content type. For that, we can use the page attribute content type. The next is what is the error page attribute? If you see, error page attribute tells the JSP engine which page is displayed if there is an error while the current page runs. If you are running your current page, it gives some exception. We need to tell which page is going to act as an error page. That situation, we can use error page attribute in the page directive. The value of the error page attribute is a relative URL. We need to mention a relative URL of error page attribute. The next one is what is the isErrorPage attribute? If you see isErrorPage attribute indicates that the current JSP can be used as an error page for another JSP. The value of isErrorPage is either true or false. The default value of isErrorPage is equal to false. See here, if you are getting any exception in our current page, we need to redirect your error page. In that situation, we need to put as a page directive attribute isErrorPage is equal to true. Otherwise, it doesn't displays the error page if you are not putting isErrorPage is equal to true. The next question is what is the extends attribute? The extends attribute specifies the superclass that is generated the servlet must be extends. The next question is what is the import attribute? The import attribute serves the same functions as and behaves like the Java import statements. The value of the import option is the name of the packages you want to import. If you see how the Java import is going to work, in the same like that only, here also import attribute is going to work. What is the info attribute? The info attributes lets you provide a description of a JSP page. It provides the description of your JSP page. The next one is what is the isThreadSafe attribute? The isThreadSafe attribute option makes a page is being a thread safe by default. All JSPs are considered as a thread safe. If you want to set the isThreadSafe option is false, the JSP engine makes sure that only one thread at a time it executing your JSP. If you want to your JSP only access the one thread, we need to set isThreadSafe is equal to false. Then only one thread is going to execute our JSP. Whenever you are getting the one more request, it is going to wait until the first request is going to complete. The next question is what is the language attribute? The language attribute indicates the programming language used for scripting in the JSP page. If you see, a JSP is supporting the multiple languages. The JSP, now we need to say that what scripting you are writing into your JSP. For that, we need to use language attribute. The language attribute says which scripting language you are going to use into your JSP page. These are the most important Java interview questions. I am going to explain in my next video for next 15 questions. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much watching this video. Hope this lesson helpful to you. Keep watching our lessons. Keep writing to us. Do not forget subscribe our channel Learning Hub because we have many sessions that would help you to develop our skills, and I will be back soon. Till then you take care. Bye bye.